Millions are waiting for apartments that never got built. This is the story of China's real estate crisis that is getting worse by the day. On the whole story, let's try to understand how bad it is and the reasons behind this situation. A company called Evergrande that used to be China's leading real estate developer at one point is now the world's most heavily indebted company. It owes $300 billion to banks and creditors. $300 billion. Now, this real estate developer has been asked to liquidate. In simple terms, liquidation means that a company stops operating and sells all its assets to pay its debts. Remember, this comes as a further blow to China, which is grappling with an underperforming economy, the worst property crisis in 9 years, and a stock market that's trading near 5-year lows. Now, what's the reason behind this property crisis and how bad is it? Between 2004 and 2014, China witnessed a real estate boom when housing prices doubled across the country. It is said that the returns were so high that even non-real estate companies with no experience invested heavily. At the peak of this boom, major developers like Evergrande made promises, built more homes and took more loans. They turned cities into concrete jungles filled with apartments and office towers. This cycle continued. Basically, everybody thought that property prices and the demand for these homes will continue to increase. But that didn't happen at all. There were three main reasons: COVID, high unemployment, and the third reason was the government crackdown on lending money to developers. The Chinese government imposed strict lending and borrowing rules under its 3 red line policy that made lending difficult for banks and borrowing difficult for developers. Now, this development led to a cash crunch in the real estate sector. As a result, dozens of developers defaulted on their debts. Like many developers in China, Evergrande also sold apartments to home buyers before the construction was complete. Now, this allowed the company to generate cash while taking more loans. More apartments got made, but there was another catch: the demand and supply mismatch. Now, no new buyers were coming in because of the real estate crisis, because of the credibility issue. They had no savings, whereas the existing properties could not be made. This is the supply part. The existing properties could not be made because the developers were not getting more loans to make new homes. It was, and it still is, a very chaotic situation in China's property market. Let me give you some context. A report published in Business Insider recently quoted an expert as saying that the empty homes available in China would be enough to accommodate a whopping 3 billion people. Why are these numbers important? That's because real estate contributes about 30% of China's GDP, making it the single biggest contributor to the world's second largest economy. Now, any crisis in that space will definitely have an impact on the country's overall economic health. The biggest impact of this crisis is being felt by the Chinese middle class. According to some estimates, 70% of their savings are tied to real estate. The stalled construction of new homes has hit contractors and suppliers of construction materials and home furnishings, which has led to job losses. The big question is whether or how the home buyers will get compensated.